All right, Russell Liebowitz here, owner of Recruitemy, and today I've got one of our members, Lee Hammer with Black Rock Recruiting. Lee, how's it going today?
Hey, pretty good, Russell. How you doing?
Fantastic. So Lee, wanted to briefly talk with you about, your experience so far with Recruitemy. Tell us, what type of recruiting you're in, and how Recruitemy has helped you, and then we can kind of go from there.
Hey, absolutely. Grateful to have the opportunity to share my experience and how much the group has helped me throughout this whole process. So previously, I had been working within software development recruitment. I had been in it for about 7 years. And last fall, I had kind of made the decision that I would step out into it for my own. Learned through a lot of bumps and bruises, had some successes, had some wins. But when COVID-19 hit, really struggled. Hard time to be starting a new business. And since joining the group in about May till now, which is August, I have more business coming in, more new potential clients than I ever did before I even had my own firm. But when I was working as an account executive and a director of client services for another recruitment firm, I've had more business than I've ever had before. So
that's music to my ears. I speak every day with people across the country who are thinking about starting their own recruiting and staffing company, just not quite sure, how to start it. Obviously scared about how they're going to get jobs. That's really the one thing is like, how am I going to get jobs right now? And I hear COVID a lot too, and I get it. We've all been negatively impacted by COVID and to some degree. And so I can sympathize towards that. But yeah, the ultimate fears that I'm hearing are, how am I going to get jobs? I need to get more jobs, and then how am I going to fill these jobs? And so I know we've got a system and a tool, a biz dev tool that our members use that you have used as well. We have 86 members now. Some are active in our program and some just use our tools and don't really participate in our group calls, which is fine. But as it pertains to the biz dev tool, casting a wide net and creating dialogue with companies and hiring managers. Can you maybe speak to that, how that's helped you?
Oh, absolutely. And that's a great question, because that was truly one of my concerns, as well as I might have had a couple big name clients. And the truth is I was like, if I can't find somebody outside of them to service, my family's going to starve. And that's why it took me so long to start my own thing. And I'll tell you what's amazing about the Recruitemy Biz Dev tool is that if as a one person, one team, one person sales team, if I can go out, and right now I have about 5 to 6 new agreements coming in, can get 5 to 6 new clients within a 2 to 3 week span using this Biz Dev tool during a pandemic, I'm fully confident that with the tool and Russell's tutelage and knowledge and wisdom, that if I can do it, just about anybody could come in, implement Russell's system, use his tools, and find success.
That's awesome. And Lee, did you find it relatively easy to get your campaign set up like the first day or the first week? And, I know our team kind of set you up on your first campaign, and then with our video tutorials in the membership area and what you saw in the onboarding, I mean, you're pretty much running your own campaigns right now with these up and running in 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, you can set up a campaign in 5 to 10 minutes, no big deal. And it's a great way to test different markets, to see and start dialogues with new clients. Learning the system was the opposite of whatever overwhelming is. It was simple, it was easy, it was convenient. Within 30 minutes, the tool's very intuitive, like you know where to go, you know how to set it up. And once you've seen it once, you could do it 100 times, no big deal.
Awesome. All right, so shifting gears off the biz dev side of it, we have our coaching calls every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern with our membership group. You've been phenomenal in participation and showing up. And again, not every member chooses to be on those calls, and that's fine. But what kind of value have you received from our collaborative, family Recruitemy membership calls every Tuesday?
There's a lot of layers to it. And for the record, people call me hashtag Hallmark because I'll get sentimental, but it's because I truly appreciate the group. Now, not every coaching call is going to be a home run to where it changes your life and you got $1 million in your pocket, but you're continuously learning and absorbing. And about 2 to 3 months in, I picked up on something in the coaching call that I had not been implementing before that took my pipeline from essentially 0 to 100 overnight. And
Wow.
so participating and attending and sticking with it, then the craziest part about it is you're not only getting tremendous value from the calls, but the network and the connections that you build from being within the coaching calls and getting to know other professionals. We continuously have side conversations outside of the coaching calls to, hey, what do you think of this? Can you help me with this? Have you used this tool? And that has helped me to expand and grow my business just as much as everything else. So a lot of value, a lot of different layers. Just very grateful.
That's awesome. And I know in the back office area, your membership area, when you log in, we provided all of our members with everything they would need to start a staffing company. I was going to say a successful staffing company, and I do mean that. I mean, if you follow the steps that we put in place, we've got a document library back there with all of the contracts and agreements or anything you would need to send to a company, to send to a candidate, as well as role playing, objection handling, video tutorials, how to hire a VA to leverage your business. I mean, have you accessed those tools and watched it, and how's it benefited you?
All right. For the record, Russell's not paying me anything to say these things because I don't want to sound like an overly caffeinated recruiter who's super hyped up. But the truth is that Russell gives you everything you need to start a turnkey business. We are using the agreements that you shared on the portal for our official agreements, and they are 100 times stronger than what we had previously had in place. So we're no longer getting bullied by clients when we finally get them on the phone, and we're getting clients that we're excited to work with who have a ton of funds to work with us. And I'm using it as a tool, the documents, the videos, to ramp up new team members that I'm bringing on, educating them. And being like, okay, I want you to watch this series of videos. Now you know how I think, how I operate. Now you can move and walk with me.
I've heard that. That's awesome that you're doing that. A lot of the calls that I get about people that are interested in joining Recruitemy, they'll always say to me, hey, I saw your video on how to lock down a candidate, or I saw your video on how to get paid up front before we start working on a job rec. And, even if they don't join Recruitemy, they're still getting value that I put out there on the internet, and they can use those strategies. And that's great. I just love helping people. It's even a bonus if they come into Recruitemy and we can help them even further and watch their business grow and succeed. So, Lee, I can't thank you enough for everything you've said. You've been a model member. I wish every member was, had your level of participation, but we've got a pretty good group here that I'm really ecstatic about. And, for anyone out there who maybe is just looking to start a business, doesn't really know staffing and recruiting, or even for those folks that currently have a recruiting business, but, are struggling, what would you say to them?
Who are people who are interested in starting a business and they might be on the fence about it?
Yeah, because there's a lot of folks out there that just want to start a business right now. They're not really sure what to start. I love staffing because it's very lucrative, and it's rewarding. So I'm a big fan of starting a staffing company. So for those people, if they were going to come in not knowing anything about recruiting and staffing, I'll rephrase it. Do you feel that Recruitemy can give them every tool and system they would need from day one to get moving forward? That's kind of a better question for you.
No, I appreciate you clarifying. So I have started multiple businesses, everything from retail apparel to digital marketing agency to then recruiting. And the greatest pain of being an entrepreneur is figuring out everything from ground zero. Never have I ever found a resource that has laid out a roadmap for you to build a business and be successful like what Recruitemy offers. I only wish I would have found it sooner. And anybody who started a business knows that there's 12-hour, 14, 16-hour days. just for you to figure out what's the right thing to do. Russell hands
Yeah,
you what's the right thing to do. Now all you have to go do is go do it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So
that's awesome. No, thanks, Lee. And you being a business owner, I'm a business owner. How do you feel about the investment from a monetary perspective with Recruitemy? You know, I mean, I might be biased, but the amount of money we charge to come in and learn what we're teaching and get the results, I feel like the ROI is certainly there in a good amount of time, like quickly to get your money back and make more. But what are your thoughts on that?
yeah, people want to talk numbers. So you pay the membership fee, and within a couple weeks of implementing it, I had a client come in with opportunities close to about 75 to 100K if I close them, signed piece
Yeah,
of paper. I didn't even write up the agreement. I took Russell's agreement.
yeah,
and
yeah.
they signed the piece of paper. So um, and the ongoing support. I think entrepreneurs, it can be lonely. You have the struggles, you have the fear, highest highs, lowest lows. When I get on those weekly coaching calls and I see somebody just got a deal, it keeps me motivated. And there's a lot of support and value in that. So yeah, it was a big investment for me. I had to sit down with my wife and we looked at it. And I'm like, we looked at, hey, this is what I'm sacrificing in order to signing up for this. But if I wouldn't have signed up, um, I don't think that I would be continuing with my firm, and I probably would have had to go back and get a job somewhere because I would have been hurting. But from joining the group and everything I've learned and implementing it, I'm now building out an org chart to figure out who to hire and when. So it's exciting.
I love it. You just like, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I never had the courage years ago, or maybe the finances to do it, but I was just so sick and tired of sitting in a cubicle and like answering to a boss. It just like, I felt like I was unemployable. And it might be because I watched my father as an entrepreneur work out of our house growing up, and it's somewhat of a curse, but in hearing you speak, it feels really rewarding knowing that, I've set up like a business in a box, like a system for people that don't have to sit in a cubicle every day handcuffed and can start a lucrative business, make a lot of money, and have a phenomenal lifestyle. And it just kind of
Oh,
hit me when you talked about that. Yeah.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Every step, everything that you could do, you show us how to do. And then you don't just say, hey, get an agreement in place. Here's the templates for the agreements. I mean, it just, nobody's ever offered that amount of value that's that thoughtful and detailed. So
Yeah. And what's cool about Recruitemy and the coaching calls is like some of our members have ideas that I don't know about. And I'm like, awesome. Like we talk about different tools and automation tools
yeah.
that, Charles and different people bring to the table. And then we all go out there and research and implement it. Cause I don't know everything, I know enough to launch a successful staffing company, but man, I lean on you guys to like help me out with market research too. And yeah, it's been awesome. And I'm so thankful that you're part of it. And, I can't thank you enough for your kind words today and sharing your experiences with the audience out there. And yeah, Lee Hammer, Black Rock Recruiting, the
Yes, sir.
man. And I'm super excited for all of your recent successes, even in this COVID era that we're in. And
Yeah.
God bless you and your family. And man, I'll see you tomorrow in our coaching call. So
All
thanks,
right.
Lee. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. See you, man.